This Jimmy Dore situation just keeps going, y'all. And I know you're like, Tim, it's got to stop. But he won't stop. He keeps going.
And that's why I was invested. And that's why I was emotional. And that's why I'm passionate. And I can't help that I'm white. Sorry. So should I apologize for the way I was born? Are you going to apologize for the way you were born?
That's what's keeping this going. Listen, guys, in this video, I'm going to use testimony from people that know Jimmy Dore who are going to tell you really what's motivating Jimmy Dore.
And you know what the core of all this is? Jimmy reached out to the Cornel West campaign and said, I'd love to work on your campaign. And when they said no, Jimmy got mad. This is what he's done. He makes everything and takes it personal. And that's not what I got into this space for. I got into this space because I wanted to fix things. It was just so, I'm not surprised for two reasons. One of the reasons I stopped being a part of the Jimmy Dore show was in the summer of 2021, when he basically said it was okay that Kyle Rittenhouse was acquitted. I was like, what? The Jimmy Dore show literally was a heavy anti-cop, critical of the police department, critical of their jackboot tactics. And then Jimmy was literally quoting Blue Lives Matter talking points. It was like, wow. And I know someone who was working on a show that had an argument with him about that. And Jimmy said, I've never been wrong, which is like his out of control ego. So this is all about his ego. Cornel West didn't want him on his campaign. So Jimmy's like, no. RFK kisses Jimmy's ass, so he likes RFK. And in that interview, he was a little hard on RFK about RFK's horrible stance on Israel, but RFK has a bunch of other horrible stances that Jimmy is soft on. Tulsi Gabbard kissed Jimmy's ass, and she's off. I mean, I did videos on, and I took a ton of shit when I brought on this guy that showed all these very distinct ties to Hindu nationalism. And there's this whole group of people that just, whatever Jimmy says, Jimmy like Tulsi, me like Tulsi. Jimmy pro man, no mandate, me no mandate. Jimmy no vaccine, me no vaccine. They just follow whatever he says because he's got more clicks. And some of those people used to be on my show as regular guests, and they made a choice. And it's obvious. Graham's show is way smaller, is only 10% of the audience, less than 10% of the audience of Jimmy's show. So I'm going to go on Jimmy's show and agree with whatever Jimmy says. There's nobody in Jimmy Dore's world that disagrees with him. Nobody. And you can make all your theories all you want. You haven't worked closely with this guy. You haven't known him for 30 years. So you don't know what you're talking about. I do. People that have worked with him do.
Graham sound pretty convincing to me. I mean, I can't imagine why a guy who knows you 30 years would all of a sudden just turn on you and say that you're a narcissist and you're crazy and you're self-serving and you're vindictive and you're petty. And you also got a lot of personal issues. But I'm sure a lot of Jimmy Dore fans won't listen to anything Graham says. They'll just say, he's a plant. The CIA put him up to it. Or Joe Biden hired him. Something like that. Just so that you can make sure that you're hearing it clearly. One more time, a little bit more from Graham Elwood on YouTube.
And I would never have people around me that just agree and kiss my ass. But this is what happens when you go through 12-step recovery, is you have to make a searching and fearless moral inventory of yourselves. And when you're drinking and doing drugs every day, you're not capable of that. So this is what this is about. Let's get that clear. When Bernie didn't want to come on Jimmy's show, Jimmy turned on Bernie. And there's much to be critical, but you got to understand it's all about that ego. If Cornel West would have said, yeah, Jimmy, you can work on my campaign, Jimmy would be banging the drum for Cornel West. And that's why he keeps talking about your advisors. That's Jimmy saying, Jimmy basically says, I really want to be invited to this party. Everyone in that party is awesome. I got to be in that party. And when he's not invited, he goes, everyone in that party sucks. I hate them. He does that time and time again.
Don't go anywhere. Coming up, I have another clip I want to share with you from someone else, not me, who says, hey, they heard some things about Jimmy they want to share with the rest of the world. But first, let me say this. So I've been getting a lot of comments from people, saying things about Jimmy Dore, telling me, hey, Jimmy Dore this, Jimmy Dore that. And I'm going to tell you, it's been like 75% of people have been supportive, 25% of, people have been like, no, Tim, you're crazy. Jimmy Dore is so smart. He's amazing. He's the last fight. He's the great white hope and all this other stuff. The good thing is that I have an audience that's not built off Jimmy Dore. So I won't lose people. And the people I do lose, they're his people. So I'm okay. And I'm encouraging all you other black commentators. Let go of Jimmy Dore while you still got a chance, man. This guy has destroyed your credibility. He put you in harm's way. By doing this, he didn't care about your reputations. He didn't care about your credibility going forward. This was totally self-serving on his part. And by you taking his side in this, you're destroying your own campaigns. And look, I don't even owe you that because we know how you did me in support of him before. But as your brother, as your older brother, as an older guy who's been doing this for 12 years now, who's helped a lot of people, even if they backstab me, let me tell you, he ain't worth it. Cut ties. All right, so in this clip, someone sent me this, all right? Someone sent me this in the comment section, and they asked me a question, and now it really makes sense what this person was asking, because at the time, I didn't know what they were talking about.
I also have a question for you, Tim, or anyone with insight. I heard not long ago that Jimmy approached Dr. West's campaign offering to be Dr. West's publicity manager, or something like that, and Dr. West, wisely, said no. Is there any truth to this story? When Dr. West first announced with the People's Party, Jimmy was very excited and supportive. But then, a brief time later, all of a sudden, nothing but hostility toward Dr. West. Tim is right. Jimmy has no core, the rot of greed. The same story as TYT, Crystal Ball, Kyle Kulinski, and all of them. And now it looks like Due Dissidents and Hard Lens Media, and perhaps even Revolutionary Blackout Network are going to continue to support Jimmy, all for access. Which makes them two no better than Crystal Ball, TYT or Ryan Grimm, and his silly book about AOC.
That's interesting, isn't it? Does it sound like it makes sense? Sounds like Graham Elwood has the same story as this anonymous person. Of course, I made the audio. I had to put the audio together and make it so people would get through it, But I find it very interesting, and I find it a coincidence that it's kind of rare. So I think, I think it's true. And now when I saw this tweet that Dr. Cornel West sent out, serious revolutionaries keep the focus on the suffering and struggling of everyday people who fight against empire, capitalism, white supremacy, male supremacy, homophobia, transphobia. Superficial ones cater to their individual careers, market opportunities, and personal polemics that bring attention only to themselves. Hashtag people over profits. I guess some people are probably wondering, Tim Black, when you going to let this go? I let it go when he lets it go. Because, see, I believe in this campaign, and I believe it's for the better of the world. I believe that our political process can be helped by this, that we could change politics in America. We could have an impact. And that's what I've been doing politics for, to have a positive impact on the world, man. This ain't for me. It's for my kids. It's for my grandbabies. It's for you. It's for us. That's why I'm with Dr. West. I've made mistakes in the past. In fact, guys, it sounds like, listening to Graham Elwood, maybe Jimmy's not a racist. Maybe he's just a narcissistic, petty, vengeful, hateful individual with also some substance abuse and some other problems. So maybe he's not a racist. But he's damn sure a bigot, and he's damn sure self-centered and power-hungry and a control freak, and his ego is way out of control, and his interests are not those of the people. Their interests are his own personal interest. Very self-serving guy. Now, I haven't looked into his heart, and I don't know his heart, but I know his actions. I know his deeds. So that's it, guys. I'm going on a couple podcasts. If you want me to come on yours, hit me up. When he shuts up, we'll shut up. But until then, we fighting fire with fire. At least I am. All right, guys, that's it. Remember, like I always say, don't you let nobody take your cornbread, especially not Jimmy Dore with his lying self. And if someone says, hey, man, why are you supporting Dr. Cornel West? You can support Biden instead and get nothing for your vote. Tell them, like I always say, man, it's a new day.